Thank you for that beautiful tribute, Luna and Choir. So today's service, as you know, as we've already been exploring, is about trees and is in honor of the Jewish holiday of Tu B'Shvat. And it is one that has been long very endearing for me. It's one of four Jewish New Years, if you didn't know, and it's known as the New Year or birthday of the trees because at this moment in the annual seasonal cycle, the sap is rising up into the trees. The sap is beginning to rise up, and they're beginning to awaken towards the end of winter. And as Judaism follows a lunar calendar this year, Tu B'Shvat actually falls a little bit later this week on Wednesday, February 12th. So one thing that I just love about Tu B'Shvat, besides being a tree hugger, I have to say, is its unseen quality. This is the time of year that the trees are waking up when the sap begins to rise and the life force returns more fully, preparing a tree for that budding and blossoming in spring. And, so much of life seems to happen in these in between times, at least in my experience. It's not always the peak moments that we think of. Much of growth happens in the liminal space, the space in between, the space of becoming. This is where transformation occurs inside the chrysalis before the butterfly emerges, inside our hearts and minds as we prepare to make a decision or as we recover after a difficult occurrence. And inside the tree, as it awakens from winter, the sap is now beginning to rise. So another thing that I love about Tu B'Shvat is that it has its own Seder meal. And many people are familiar with the Jewish Passover Seder and may think that that is just the Seder in Judaism. But actually, Tu B'Shvat has its own Seder as well. A Seder, by definition, is a ritual meal. And the Tu B'Shvat Seder is a four-course meal completely consisting of fruits and nuts from the natural world, of foods that are mainly from trees. So this Seder is also split into four sections according to the four mystical worlds of Judaism, which also correspond to the four seasons, and you can totally geek out and explore all that these different four worlds correlate with. I'm going to share a little bit with you today. So the four worlds are Asiya, the physical world of action, Yetzira, the emotional world of formation, Beriya, the intellectual world of thought, and Atzilut, the spiritual world. Um, just as a side note, I also learned these same four categories when I was studying Zen Shiatsu. For those of you who don't know, I'm a body worker and a Zen Shiatsu practitioner, and that's a form of body work that comes out of Japan, but is based in traditional Chinese medicine. And we assess people on the PEMS level, PEMS, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. So I'm not sure where these four ways of assessing ourselves, where this began, but I just named that this also occurs in other cultures as well. And that's a little teaser for later in our service. So during the first course of the Seder meal, we enter Asiya, the physical world, the element of earth, the season of winter, the energy of groundedness and defense. And for this course, we eat foods that are inedible on the outside because it's the physical world, but edible on the inside. So think about what those might be. I'll give you some examples like coconuts, oranges, citrus fruits, hard skin on the outside, soft on the inside, pomegranates, a lot of nuts, pecans, walnuts, hazelnuts. Moving on to the second course of the Seder, we move into Yetzirah, the emotional world, the inner world, the element of water, the season of spring, the energy of growth and creativity. And for this course, we eat foods that are actually edible on the outside, but inedible deep within, like apricots, olives, cherries, dates, mangoes. Think of anything that might have a pit inside. The third course of the Tu B'Shvat Seder is the world of Beriah, the mental world of thought. It's the element of air, the season of summer, the energy of openness and abundance. And for our third course, we eat foods that can be eaten whole, such as berries, raspberries, strawberries, such as apples and pears, maybe figs. And for the fourth and final course of the Tu B'Shvat Seder, we enter the world of Atzilut, the spiritual realm, the element of fire, the season of fall, and the energy of mystery. And because to honor that mystery, we don't actually eat during the fourth course of the Tu B'Shvat Seder. Instead, we focus on smell rather than taste. We might pass around cinnamon or cloves or something like that and connect with what's unseen. So I'm sharing all of these things with you because we are going to have our own Tu B'Shvat Seder, but not with food. We're going to experientially wander through these four worlds through drawing or writing. And if these four worlds are new to you, your left brain might have been longing as I was talking to have something concrete to hold on to, like a visual of the words. And I want your left brain to know that I will send something out on groups.io later so that you can see these and ingest these in a more concrete way. But for now, we're going to be in the right brain, the creative land. And I just want you to experience and let it wash over you. And it doesn't have to be exact. Whatever you need during the Seder is going to come up for you. And I want you to trust that. So you were invited to get your own paper and writing instrument if you are at home, zooming in or zooming in from wherever you are. If you're there in the sanctuary, you should always already have a couple of pieces of paper. And in the sanctuary, you were handed two cards, and I want you to notice that two cards means four sides total, the front and back of both. So we're going to be using each side, 1, 2, 3, 4, to write about the different four worlds. So I invite you now to just take a breath, clear your mind. We are now entering our embodied Tu B'Shvat Seder ritual. So we begin in the first world of physical form, Asiya. The hard outer shell or husk of nuts and fruit can be protective and provide a container that promotes waiting until the moment is right for eating or planting or growing. So I invite you to pause and reflect now. What contains your life? What holds and protects you? Just as a book needs its cover to protect its paper pages, we as humans need protection for the books of our lives. So what contains you? What holds you when the going gets rough? What hull allows you to fall and tumble like a seed from a tree and land safely in your next destination? Take a moment to write your thoughts down about what contains you on your first card. Knowing that you can come back to this card and write down more, and that this is just a pause. We're going to move into Yetzirah, the second world of emotion and core integrity. The hard inner part of these tree foods are sometimes called pits, sometimes they're called stones. And they're also protective of the seed that lives inside of them. So I invite you to reflect now on what is rooting in your life. Where does your core creative essence lie? Where is that taproot of your energy or your vital emotional connection that drives you to commit or to take root or to grow? Write these things related to the second world of emotion and to the pit of a fruit on the back of your first card now. Taking just another moment to finish that thought, knowing you can come back to this exercise later. We'll move into the third world of Berea, of intellect, of mind, and enjoying a fruit in its entirety and relishing that feeling of an open mind. This reminds us to embrace new concepts and to remain aware of the interconnectedness and the overlapping nature of many universal truths and ideas. So, on the front of your second card, I invite you to write down the ideas or truths that you are in alignment with. Where in your life do you find a sense of wholeness or mental clarity? What brings a sense of expansiveness or fullness to your world? What in life are you fully open to eating whole? What is approachable to eat whole? I invite you to reflect on this now on your second card. And finally, we enter the fourth world of Atzilut, the world of mystery and formlessness. Sometimes that which is invisible, inedible, undetectable is incredibly important. Wind, sunlight, the slow movement of growth that is imperceptible to the naked eye. This great mystery connects to the soul or essence of life itself. So I invite you now on the back of your final card, writing in stream of consciousness. Name that which is invisible that is moving in your life. What unseen forces support or protect or guide you? What unseen elements of the natural world do you feel most connection with at this moment in your life? Please take a minute to write these now. And knowing that you can come back to this at any time, that you can have your own expanded experiential Tu B'Shvat Seder. I invite you to now just conclude writing your last thought or two down, and then holding your cards or holding your writing and taking a breath in, just reflecting over your experience of the Seder, of the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual journey. Thank you for this experiential Seder together this morning. So, in conclusion of our Seder, I'd like to add in another layer, a layer that I think is important because we're moving into or already on our second Sunday of Black History Month. And there are so many cultures around the globe that care for the forests of our world. So, in addition to this beautiful ritual and this way that we can connect experientially with the spirit of trees, I'd like to lift up how we can protect them. And Tu B'Shvat is a lovely time to honor the life and legacy of Kenyan-born activist, scholar, tree planter, and Nobel Peace Prize winner Wangari Maathai. So I'm going to share a little bit with you about her and how I believe her Greenbelt movement actually connects with the spirit of Tu B'Shvat. Wangari Maathai founded the Greenbelt movement in Africa, which was known not only for reforestation on a grand scale, but it also socially supported women in Africa with jobs and encouraged them to become stewards of the interconnected web of Earth. And in addition, Mathai was known for connecting across the typical dividing lines of culture. This was truly a cultural movement. This included encouraging soldiers to plant trees as their duty, connecting with the military members' dedication for being protectors. These soldiers came to think of themselves as holding a gun in one hand and a tree in the other, and participated in planting trees as part of the Greenbelt movement. The Greenbelt movement has four key values, like the four worlds of Judaism in Tu B'Shvat. And if you'd like to learn more about these, I learned about them in Mathai's book, Replenishing the Earth. They are love for the environment, number one, gratitude and respect for Earth's resources, number two, self-empowerment and self-betterment, number three, and the spirit and service of volunteerism, number four. And I believe that these four key values of the Green Belt movement can really overlay nicely with the four worlds of Judaism. So I'm going to lift up to you how I see these in alignment. So the first key value of the Green Belt movement is love for the environment. Love for the environment, the outer world. If we think about the first world being the physical world. And this is not merely felt, but shown through how we care for and tend our earth and how we live sustainably within the Green Belt movement. The second key value is gratitude and respect for Earth's resources. And this gratitude leads to respect and the Japanese concept of motenai. This was something that was important to Maathai, which refers to the sadness that we feel when something is wasted. And the inner love for Earth's resources, many of which were found in Earth's core, such as water, oil, and coal, are similar to me to that inner world of emotions or the fruit heart's inner pit. What's inside? Gratitude and respect for Earth's resources, many of which are inside the Earth. So we have number one, we have love for the environment, for what's around and outside us. Number two, gratitude and respect for Earth's resources, what's inside the Earth. And then we come to the third value of self-empowerment and self-betterment, which to me really connects to that third world of the mental, the intellectual. This value teaches us to turn away from addictions and towards self-reliance. It reminds us no one's going to do it for you. You have the power to change. Don't give in to negative inertia. Make the effort to make a change for the better. And this third value can be overlain with the third world of the course of our Seder meal. Self-empowerment and self-reliance is possible when our minds are expanded to behold our unlimited potential, and no one else is going to heal our planet but us. So may our minds and our intellect be open to this healing power. And then finally, we come to Maathai and the Greenbelt movement's fourth value, the spirit of service and volunteerism, which to me overlays nicely with the fourth world, the great mystery, this spirit. What is the spirit of service and volunteerism that encourages us to give of our time without compensation, to give of ourselves without appreciation or even recognition? This kind of generosity is what characterizes prophets, saints, and heroes. And we should not only give to other people, but to the more than human world of which we are but a part. Or maybe might I remind us all, since we're in the middle of stewardship and pledge season, to our community here that we are a part of that takes such good care of people and the planet. So the spirit of service is easily connected to the fourth spiritual world of Judaism and the end of our Seder when we eat nothing, when we smell the sweet fragrances of spices or herbs. And this is the essence of community that keeps us going. When we connect to that spiritual drive to support our communities, the newness can be created and we can birth heaven here on earth, as UUs are committed to doing. So, as this experiential and very experimental journey has shown, the values and ideas within Judaism and also within the Green Belt movement, they're not inherent to those groups alone. These are universal values. And so, just invite you to think back, to look back onto your cards later today at what you've written and gathered from this exploration. Remember your journey from physical to emotional to mental to spiritual. These are just all aspects of what it is to be human. And remember that, like a tree, the seeds that you have planted during today's service have the opportunity to sprout, to bud, and blossom with your tending and your care if you so choose. So to close, I'm going to offer a poem and then we'll sing our closing hymn. This poem is by Kathy Ostroff and it's titled "Every Tree Was Once a Seed." I invite you to assume a posture of relaxation to receive this poem. Every tree was once a seed that waited. A seed knows how to wait. A cherry tree will wait for 100 years. A lotus seed may wait 1,000 years for a chance to become a tree. Most seeds hope for an opportunity that will never come to shed their hard coats and take root. What does it take to pare away the husks of our own hardness, to discover the patience of trees within ourselves? In spite of doubt and stubbornness, someone believed in us, nourished us. So whatever keeps us tethered to obstacles, let go. Focus. Begin again. Teshuvah. Life holds the possibility of inner transcendence, moments of love and awe, so powerful that they call upon us to redirect the course of our lives, to ascend the holy ladder, to embrace the wisdom of trees, and reach the heights of our own unique divine stature. Amen. 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 And may it be so. Now I invite you to rise in body or in spirit and join in singing our closing hymn, Turn, Turn, Turn. The lyrics are on an insert in your order of service and are also pasted into the chat.